What makes the seed so magical is that it contains within it everything that it needs to grow.
For someone listening who is like, I have no idea where to start, I'm a little bit overwhelmed, where do I begin?
I think the first is just know that sprouts are very simple, that the seeds are a plant organism. So a seed is a complete plant organism living in a dormant state, and that you get to play creator to work with the seed on taking it from the dormant state to germination to food. So it is hard to grow a garden. It is easy to sprout. So it's very easy to sprout. It is
Well, that's
literally
great.
one,
That's
two,
great for
three.
anyone. Yeah, mate, that's great for anyone who has tried to grow their own food before or herbs and not succeeded. This is kind of like a foolproof way to get loads of nutrients into you.
Yeah, well, I grew up in a concrete jungle. So
Hmm.
literally, the first time I saw a real forest, I was like, wow, it was like right out of the movies. So I didn't know. And gardening just wasn't a thing for me. So I never grew anything till I grew sprouts. So I think you have to just understand what the sprout is, and what makes the seed so magical is that it contains within it everything that it needs to grow for the first week. The only thing you need to add is water. Like, that's it.
Clean, like not water with chlorine and fluoride, like clean water.
I would say use the best water you have, but if the only
Hmm.
water you have is tap water, you can use the tap water. I
Okay.
prefer distilled water or spring water, but it's so important not to stand on ceremony and to just say, let's just sprout with what you have. Okay? So that's an important distinction. And in many cases, that's all people have. So I really want to make sprouting available to people. So the next thing is, if you have water, it is important to get seeds that are organic, that are tested for high germination rate, and are tested for pathogens, because like everything in life, there are different grades. The seeds that are sold for sprouting are the highest grade for germination. And if you were taking a seed and you were cooking it, it doesn't really matter whether it germinates or not, because you're going to cook it and you're going to eat the minerals and the fiber. But if you want it to sprout, you want the top grade.
Do you have any favorite brands online that you would highly recommend?
I mean, right now, I buy most of my seeds personally from Sprout Man or True Leaf Market. But at the end of the day, there's seeds around the world. I really like the community and the reviews, and I look at customer service and parts. And the seeds, I've had so much success, with seeds from all different sorts. And it's much easier today. I will tell you, today in 2020 versus 2 years ago, the amount of seeds in the market today is 10x, like an order of magnitude, 10x, force multiplier, more seeds in market. So to sprout, you have a very fancy sprouting setup there.
We used to just use a ball mason jar, and then we just recently got these.
Yeah, that Geifu is a very nice kind of second generation upgrade from the mason jar. But for all intents and purposes, that is a glass jar, and there's a screen on the bottom. So the goal of the screen is to keep. Could you take off the bottom tray? Just pull off the bottom, turn it upside down. The whole thing. Just turn everything up.
There's water in there
Oh, there is. Okay.
at the
Well,
moment, so I can't tip it upside down.
okay. Well, then we
Oh,
won't do
hang on.
that. You can in this one.
No, there's water in both of them.
Okay. Um, that's the difference between you and me, Melissa. If I were on the camera, I just spill the water and just tear it open. I'm kind of like a beast like that, but that's
I don't
okay.
think I think my husband would get very mad if I put water all over our carpet and desk, he might get very mad at me, but
Well,
it's all good.
you guys, I'm in a yurt, so with a dirt floor, so I wouldn't even notice. So
Yeah.
so at any rate, so you take the seeds, you add them to the jar, you add water, and you let them soak. And in my book, I cover sprouting in a jar, sprouting in a tray, sprouting in a bag, sprouting with soil, sprouting with an unbleached paper towel, and then
You
I
can
give
do Hessian bags as well, can't you?
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Mm,
literally, the seeds want to sprout. I mean, it's just that simple, right?
mm.
The seeds want to sprout. It's in there. You know, in one of the things, if you think about in nature, like one of the reasons why flowers are colorful is because they want the bees, to pollinate them. But they also want other birds to eat the seeds and fly away and then drop the seed somewhere else so that they can spread. So nature is much smarter than we can ever figure out. So
You go ahead.
no, no, no. You go ahead, please, Melissa.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Nature has got it all figured out. I wanted to know what's the difference between sprouts and shoots?
I think that people try to create labels for certain things, but generally a shoot is part of a sprout that goes straight up, right?
Okay.
So you have roots that go down and you've got shoots that go up. When you're doing the sprouting in the jar, it's basically, going in circles and you're getting curly things. So you could take the same broccoli seed, and if you were sprouting it on an unbleached paper towel, it would shoot up, right? And the root would go down. But if you did it in a jar, the seed comes off, the shell comes off, and then you have a curly sprout and the leaves still form because these things want to grow.
Absolutely.